They say no bell should ring on Christmas night. Not for the living, not for the dead. Because on that night, even restless spirits are meant to stay quiet. That is why when the bell rang, the singing died instantly. One slow toll. Heavy. Not joyful like the bells that bless weddings. Not sharp like the alarm for wandering goats. This sound felt older, like it had pushed its way up from beneath the earth, dragging soil and bone with it. The choir broke apart mid-hymn. Candles trembled. Somewhere near the altar a child began to cry, but the sound thinned, fading too quickly, as if something had swallowed it before it could rise. No one moved. Everyone in Saint Baraka knew the rule. The bell rang only when someone had died. And the dead were never announced on Christmas night. I stood near the back of the church, half hidden among shadows and unfamiliar faces. 7 years away had made me a stranger in my own village. The walls were the same. The smell of wax and dust was the same. But the eyes that turned toward me now were wide and searching, eyes looking for permission to panic. The second toll came slower. It rolled through the church like a wave, pressing against chests, forcing breath from lungs. That was when I felt it. Tightening, pulling, as if the bell was not ringing in the air, but somewhere inside me. I didn't want to understand what it meant. In our village, understanding things like that was dangerous. The third toll answered anyway. And with it came certainty. The bell was calling a name. Not spoken, not shouted, but every soul in Saint Baraka heard it. I staggered backward, colliding with a wooden bench. My heart slammed so hard my vision blurred. "No," someone whispered. "It's impossible," another voice said. "He's alive." I was alive. I had arrived that afternoon on a dust-choked bus, my bag slung over my shoulder. My mother had cried and laughed at the same time when she hugged me. Had eaten. Had prayed. I had knelt on this very floor less than an hour ago. Alive. 7 years away. Long enough for some graves to fill without me. The church door creaked open. Slowly. As if it feared what waited outside. Cold air poured in, carrying the scent of wet soil, old leaves, and something metallic that scraped the back of the throat. Candles bent toward the doorway, their flames leaning as if pulled by an unseen hand. A man stepped inside. Too thin. He wore a coat so heavy it brushed the ground, despite the heat of the season. His face remained swallowed by shadow, but his hands were visible. Blackened, cracked, the skin stretched tight and shiny, like something burned long ago and never allowed to heal. A murmur rippled through the congregation. No one spoke his name. No one needed to. Zikifo. The bellkeeper. The man who arrived before funerals, never after. The man children were warned about in whispers, the way other villages warned about deep water or spirits that followed travelers home. I had seen him once before. I was 9. A woman had died in childbirth, and before the rooster crowed, Zikifo was already standing beside her grave, staring at the earth as if waiting for it to speak. No one had told him. He never needed to be told. He walked down the aisle now, his footsteps slow and measured, respectful. He did not look at the altar, the candles, or the cross. He looked only at me. Each step tightened the knot in my chest. By the time he stopped in front of me, my hands shook so badly I had to grip the bench to remain standing. Up close, his eyes were pale, not blind, not empty, focused somewhere just behind me. "You heard it," he said softly. "Yes," I managed. "The bell does not lie." A sound escaped my throat. Half laugh, half sob. "I'm standing here," I said. "You can see me." "I see you," he replied. "That is not the same thing." The elders rose in uneasy unison. My mother pushed through the crowd, her face drained of color as she reached for me. "He's my son," she said. "He returned today." Zikifo tilted his head, listening, not to her but to something deeper. "The bell rang 3 times," he said. "Once to open the path, once to name the soul." His gaze dropped, just briefly, to the floor beside my feet. "To call what walks behind." Fear moved through the church like a living thing. "You don't ring it on Christmas," an elder said sharply. "Not tonight. The dead do not keep calendars," Zikifo replied. He turned toward the door, toward the bell. "No," my mother cried. "Too late." He wrapped his burned hands around the rope with reverence and pulled. The sound cracked through the night like bone splitting. Dogs began to howl outside, dozens of them answering something they could hear but we could not. The second pull sent the candles guttering wildly. Shadows leapt across the walls, stretching too long, bending at wrong angles. I felt something shift behind me, heavy and patient. The third pull snapped the rope clean in half. The bell rang anyway. Not above us. Below. The ground shuddered. A low groan rolled beneath the church, deep and ancient, as if something far below had turned in its sleep. From the forest came a sound that was not quite a voice. Not quite a breath. Something listening. Someone screamed outside, and the church broke apart in chaos. Zikifo stepped back, his task complete. "It has heard," he said quietly. "Now it will come." And then he was gone. They did not speak of what happened that night. By morning, Saint Baraka had folded the fear away like a forbidden cloth. The church was cleaned. The broken rope was buried. The elders agreed, without saying it aloud, that the bell had never rung. But silence does not undo a summons. I did not sleep. Every time I closed my eyes I felt it again, that weight just behind me, patient, familiar. Not touching, not breathing. Simply there, like a shadow that had learned how to stand. At dawn my mother touched my face and flinched. "You feel cold," she said. The sun was already warm. Outside the village had changed. People avoided my eyes. Conversations ended when I approached. Chickens scattered at my feet. A dog snapped at the air beside me, then whimpered and ran. I followed its gaze. The ground beside my footprints was darker, pressed deeper, as if something heavier than me walked where I walked. I went to the elders. They sat beneath the fig tree. Older than the church, older than the road, older than forgiveness. When I told them what I felt, what followed, they did not argue. "You should not have returned," one said. "You were gone too long," said another. My chest tightened. I didn't do anything wrong. The eldest woman lifted her eyes. "You left unfinished." They sent for Mama Quito. She arrived before noon, wrapped in layers of cloth that smelled of smoke and bitter leaves. Her hair was white, her back bent, but when she looked at me, something inside me recoiled. She circled me once. Then she stopped behind me. Her breath caught. "You brought it home," she said. My mouth went dry. "What is it?" She did not answer immediately. Instead, she poured ash onto the ground and gestured for me to stand inside the circle. When I did, the ash darkened, shifted. Something pressed against the edge from the outside. Mama Quito stepped back sharply. "It is not a spirit," she said. "Not fully." "What does that mean?" "It means," she said slowly, "that something answered the bell before it was meant to." My heart hammered. "Then send it back." She looked at me with something close to pity. "It came because it already knew you." That night the dreams began. I walked the forest paths I had known as a child, but everything was wrong. Trees leaned closer. Roots curled like fingers. I heard footsteps matching mine, always half a breath behind. When I turned, nothing. Until the third night. I saw it then. Not a body. Not a face. A shape cut from darkness itself, wearing my outline but stretched too long, its head tilted the way mine never had been. When it moved, my chest burned. When it stopped, I could not breathe. I woke screaming. My mother did not come. She was standing outside my door, praying. By the fourth day, people began to fall ill. Not sick, afraid. A child woke screaming that someone had been standing beside his mat, whispering my name. A woman collapsed after seeing a second set of footprints outside her hut, mine and something deeper. The elders returned to Mama Kito. She shook her head. The bell does not call death alone, she said. It calls balance. What does it want? They asked. She looked at me. What was taken when he left, she said. And never returned. Memory crashed into me. 7 years ago, the night I fled the village, I had not said goodbye. I had not visited the graves. I had not poured libation. I had walked away angry. Angry at poverty, at faith, at the dead who demanded respect when the living had nothing. I had left something behind. I can fix it, I said. Tell me how. Mama Kito's voice lowered. Before the next bell rings, there will be another. There is always another, she said. Unless the path is closed. That evening the forest went quiet. No insects, no birds. The sun sank too fast. I felt it step closer. Closer than ever before. My shadow moved without me. When I reached for the door, it reached first. From behind me a voice. My voice but hollow whispered. You heard the bell. The church bell rang once. From beneath the ground. And I knew. This time it was not calling me alone. The bell rang from beneath the ground. Once. Low. Patient. The sound did not echo. It settled like something finding its place. People ran. Doors slammed. Fires were smothered. Mothers dragged children inside by the arms. By the time the echo faded, Saint Baraka looked like a village already buried. Silent, sealed, waiting. Only Mama Kito did not move. It has stepped fully into our world, she said. My shadow stretched forward, longer than my body, touching the church steps before I did. Then tell me how to end it, I said. Before it takes someone else. She studied my shadow, then the bell tower, then the earth beneath it. The bellkeeper opens the path, she said. But it is the one who is named who must close it. Cold spread through my chest. What does it want from me? What you owe, she replied. And what you stole by leaving. We walked to the church as night swallowed the sky. The door stood open, breathing cold air. Inside, the bell rope lay coiled on the floor like something dead that had not accepted it yet. Mama Kito placed a calabash of palm wine at the altar. Speak, she told me. To the dead first. My throat tightened. I had not spoken to them in 7 years. He knelt. I left without honoring you, I said. Without permission. Without gratitude. The church creaked. My shadow twitched. I thought silence would protect me, I continued. But it only made you louder. The air thickened. Something stepped closer behind me. Mama Kito drew a line of ash around the bell tower. When it shows itself, she warned. Do not run. Running is agreement. The ground cracked. The thing rose slowly. Not climbing, not crawling, but unfolding from the dark itself. Had my shape. But wrong. Its limbs bent too easily. Its head tilted at angles that made my neck ache in sympathy. Where its face should have been, there was only shadow, but I felt its attention settle on me like weight. It spoke without a mouth. You left, it said. You were called. I came back, I replied, forcing my voice steady. For yourself, it said. Not for us. The bell shuddered. Mama Quito shouted. The debt must be named. My heart pounded. What debt? The shadow leaned closer. Belonging, it whispered. Understanding hit me like grief. I had taken my body away but left my name behind. My memory. My place among the living and the dead. You want me to stay, I said. No, it replied. We want you to choose. The bell rang again, above us this time. Once, I stepped forward. I will give what I owe, I said. But you will release this village. The shadow hesitated. The bell trembled. What do you offer? It asked. I swallowed. I will remain between. Mama Quito gasped. Do you understand? I do, I said. I will not belong fully to the living or the dead. I will stand where paths close. The shadow reached for me. Pain exploded through my chest. Not sharp but hollowing. Memories tore loose. Laughter. Anger. Even my reflection felt thinner. The bell cracked. The ground sealed. The shadow collapsed inward, folding, shrinking, until it sank into my feet like cooling ash. Silence fell. Real silence. The kind that stays. By morning the church stood whole. The bell was still. The villagers emerged cautiously, whispering prayers of thanks. They remembered the fear, but not the shape of it. Mama Quito looked at me once before leaving. You are the warning now, she said. I tried to follow my shadow. Did not follow me back. Since that night, I remain in Saint Baraka. I do not age the way others do. Animals avoid my footsteps. Children feel watched when I pass. And when the bell rings, because it sometimes does, I am already standing beneath it, making sure no name is called. Because some stories are not meant to be forgotten. If you heard this tale, remember it. And if you ever hear a bell ring when it should not, do not answer. If this story unsettled you, leave a comment and tell me what you think the bell truly calls. Subscribe for more African horror folktales passed down in whispers, not books. And remember, some warnings are stories until you ignore them.